enjoying privatization. We privatized Kenya Power and Light. Before, it was running into losses and losses and losses. Today, Kenya Power has started making profit because of privatization. What of Kenyan? I can go on and on. Of course, there are also failures, like Uchumi. We tried to privatize it. It's a total flop. So it depends on how you execute privatization and the timing. If your timing is wrong, you will get it wrong. And I will tell you, with my knowledge and understanding, our timing for Kenya, for KPC, the Kenya pipeline, is perfect. If we don't do it now, believe me, we will regret a few years to come. Don't ask me why. This is the time to privatize KPC to make it more profitable. That is a company that has the potential. If you have money, if you have some money to spare, kindly save it. We are issuing IPO next week for Safaricom, God willing. Thank you. Wacha sasa nirudi kwa off the cuff. And I want to say this in English before maybe you allow me. I know there are a few of us in the gathering who don't understand Doluo, including my great friend, Deputy Governor. Lakini siku hizi unaishi hapa Migori. I am sure you understand a lot. If I were you, I would still continue pretending that I don't understand. Yes, nijue kina nani wananisengenya. But let me point out the following. I have spoken a lot about budgets. And ladies and gentlemen, maybe you don't know. Let me tell you. Many of you who saw me lose weight when I got into this office, you don't know why. Our economy for a long time has been on its deathbed. To the extent, inafika tarehe 15 and you have not cleared paying salaries for public servants. It was that frustrating. 15 of the following month, people who have worked for the government have not been paid in full. Loans, external loans are coming up for payment. Debt settlement. And you don't know whether you will pay them or not. Kenya was listed among 6 countries in Africa by IMF which were going to default, not which would have defaulted. No, they were going to default. It was just about when. 5 of those countries have defaulted. It's only Kenya which has not defaulted. And by the way, many of us don't know the implication of defaulting. That is an economy that is completely ruined. The moment you default, that is an economy that cannot easily come back unless now you just become slaves of other people. They will be directing you, do this, remove staff. How many staff do you have in your payroll? 3 million, 2 million. That's what would have happened to Kenya. You are told how many chiefs do you have across the country? We have 10,000, remove 5, remain with only 5. And you have no choice, you'll take them home. How many county commissioners? Go home. How many teachers? You can survive with half. How many MCAs? You must make sure that the MCAs across the country from 1,400 reduced to half. Members of parliament reduced to half. Salary, everybody reduced by half. That is what would have happened to Kenya. So, it is because of decisions that have been taken over the years. Some of them are very faulty. You invest in an infrastructure project that has 30 years of repayment period, payback period, 30 years, and you're taking a loan of 5 years to finance it. 5 years loan for a project that will start paying you in 30 years. Are you being clever? Are you being wise? And then you also don't have any space for taxation. Yet, economy must grow. Our youth, Kenya has one of the fastest growing population in the world. And we are educating our youth, and they are very intelligent and sharp. And they are coming out of school, out of colleges with no jobs. Our economy growing at 4%, 5% cannot create enough jobs. We must make this economy grow at 7%, 7.5% and above. That you can only do, you cannot do that by being complacent and comfortable with the way things are. We must invest more in infrastructure in this country to expand the economy of the country without A, taxing people, 2, taking expensive loans that would be impossible to pay. So where do you run? You have assets here. You have Safaricom. Making profit, yes. But out of it, you can raise 240 billion shillings at one go by selling only 15% of it. You have 35%. You can still retain 20%. And by the way, it is not just this government which is selling or offloading shares. It's actually not even sale. It's offloading shares. It's only Uhuru Kenyatta who did not offload shares in Safaricom. Moi did 40%. Kibaki did 25%. We are only doing 15%. Why this noise about 15%? Why didn't you make noise when Kibaki was releasing 25%? Or is it because of ethnicity? What is the justification? 240 billion. How much dividend are we getting out of 15 billion today? Out of 15 billion today, we would be getting about 6 billion shillings. Divide 240 by 6. 40 years. It will take us 40 years to get, if we retain the 15% and get dividends. That dividend, if we get the 240, that 240, we will take 40 years. So you want to refuse money today because you want to earn the same money for 40 years. Will you be alive? You have not even factored the time value of money, because 240 billion today is not 240 over the years up to 40 years. So long as where you put that money makes sense. And that is why we are saying that, yes, we have some infrastructure projects which can be commercially viable. Which roads we can call, dams which we can use for irrigation, commercial irrigation. We have energy in this country. The reason why we have blackouts all over the place is because Kenya is generating only 3,000 megawatts per year. But our economy should generate no less than 10,000 megawatts. Where are we going to get money to generate more power? Mutaua Wandai bure, ati Wandai anafanya tuko na blackout. Anatoa power wapi? He cannot manufacture power in Ugunja. He needs to invest money to generate power and transmit it across everywhere in our villages and in our factories. Where does he get that money? He has to come to me. Where do I get the money? If I cannot offload these shares, what do I do? I will go to IMF, World Bank, to China, to borrow loans expensively. Who will pay it? You and your grandchildren. If I cannot go for loan, I will come for your money. I will come for your salary. I will come for ile pesa unatengeneza ukiuza mboga. But if I can't come for it, allow me to offload some shares. And what we are saying, we are offloading these shares. We get 240 billion and put it in an infrastructure fund. That infrastructure fund is going to crowd in private sector. So what am I saying? Let me just explain it in a minute. If, for example, a road has been costed Now, let me not give the example of a road. Let me give the example of JKIA. We have the worst airport in the region today. And we are the biggest economy in this region. Number 6 in Africa. The only economies which are bigger than Kenya in Africa is South Africa, Nigeria, Algeria, Egypt, and Morocco. All apart from South Africa and Nigeria, North Africa. Kenya is the only economy standing in this region. We have bypassed Ethiopia. Yet we have, what if I was speaking in Kijalu, I would say Kundudo. As airport, leaking. You arrive in Jomo Kenyatta and it is leaking. It's a shame. And it is costing around 260 billion shillings. If, for example, we make 20%, we take from this fund, 20% of that cost, which will be about 50 billion, and invest, and we cost it, and we say this airport will pay itself, because people who are coming in pay money at the airport. Those who are bringing goods pay money. The air ticketing, everybody, the airlines, they pay money. They will pay back. We take 50 billion, we look for people with money, institutional investors. Bila kuenda kwa dani, tutaenda kwa institutional investors who have money, both external and internal. And we partner. What in Kiingereza tunasema blended capital. And do that airport in 1 or 2 years. And then we start crowding in investment in this country. People start seeing Kenya as a serious investment destination. Who does not want that? And naysayers will always tell you, government watakula. Kwani ni sisi ndio tunaweza kula, wao hawezi kula? Why must we wait for them to be in leadership? And they have characters worse than some of us. Give us time, allow us space. We get these assets, optimize their value, and invest in our infrastructure. As I conclude, Kenya pipeline, we are again not selling, but we are releasing around 60-65% to you people and any other investor. We retain again 35 like we did with Safaricom. But that company will make more profits, and we are going to raise about 100 billion, which we can put in this fund and utilize to do major projects. We have listed across the country the roads that can be profitable across the country, including Migori and Homa Bay and everywhere else, and the rest of the country. We have listed energy projects. We have listed irrigation. Let me give you this example. Today, Kenya, for food security, out of analysis and assessment, Kenya requires about 10 million to 15 million more bags of maize every year. Beyond the rain-fed agriculture. Now sample this. Galana Kulalu, which we are now harvesting out of the 1,500 acres, 1,500 acres. Galana Kulalu, if we do the dam, we will irrigate 200,000 acres. And that dam costs 40 billion, 30 to 40 billion. And we can irrigate 200,000 acres. Each acre produces between 30 and 35 bags per one harvest. And you do 2 harvests in a year. That is between 60 and 70. Even if you take the lower, that is 60. And you multiply by 200,000 acres, that is 12 million bags. You have already sorted the food situation in the country. Who does not want that? And we need only between 30 and 40. Even if you take 40 billion, will come out of this infrastructure fund. And by the way, Galana Kulalu, the investors are already just around. They want us to invest, and then they come and invest their money and produce food for this country. That is the way we should be thinking. And we can release some of the fertile areas like Ketale, where we are growing maize. We release that area for coffee and tea and export and get foreign exchange to this country. Are those wild ideas? I don't think so. Koro atieko. Atieko kawacho ni gima nokela kani en mondo awuo gi jopiny waduoko sirikal e piny e grassroots. Sirikal ok en mar Nairobi. Katiba mane wakadho manyien ni ma 2010 ni okawo teko keto kuom japiny ma en gi an. Emomiyo nabiro iru ka mondo anyisu ni koro wachako loso budget mar higa manyien. To kendo be nabiro wuoyo kodu ni gik muwinjo winje radio ni nitiere gimoro ni Kenya Pipeline gi Safaricom ni sirikal dwa uso. Adwa ni kawuono winji koa e dhoga. Iuso gi koso ok usgi. Safaricom wanie gi gimiluongo ni 35 ewi 100. 65 nosedhi ne jomoko. 35 ni ema wacho ni wadwa kawo 15 wachiw kendo wadong' gi 20 kende. 15 mwachiwo ni dhi miyowa pesa moro maduong' makore lach mwadwa ni waketi mondo konywa e loso gik machalo yore, mondo watim go gimiluongo ni irrigation, mondo wakel go stima ma ok ni koro stima to lala ng'ato timo welding ne to stima lal. Uwinja ni ng'ato nosekoni ni akelo ni pesa kiny abiro adwa ni los na koma ni mondo ka kiny adonjo tayud ko ikore.